Greetings, my fellow citizens. My name is Ebrima Tabora Manneh, the party leader of the People's Alliance Party. Well, today I'm here not speaking not as a leader of a political party, but as a concerned citizen of our beloved country, the Gambia. And today I will not talk about the political issues or the problems the problems that the country is facing, or the mismanagement of the failures of this government. I will not be talking about that today, but I will be discussing about current and very pertinent issues that we've all witnessed these past few days. And these are very, very interesting times in this country. We've mentioned during our last program that these are interesting times, to be in the Gambia, to be a citizen of this country, especially a concerned one who definitely participates proactively, who pays a lot of attention, who keenly follows, the developments in our motherland. But especially those who are definitely concerned and want meaningful transformation in the country, want a rebirth, a reset in this country that will bring about development, but meaningful development that will definitely impact all Gambians, not just a select few. But first, where I must start is that I must doff off my hat to the able investigative journalist, Mr. Mustafa Dabo. I think he's done a very good job, and all Gambians so appreciative of what he's done for the country, because that is the catalyst of the movement that has just happened recently, which led to the demand by some concerned Gambians, men and women, young and old eventually, about the disclosure, of the assets of the former president, that were supposedly have been, supposedly disposed. We all understood that during the Jana Commission, the assets were seized or frozen, if you may, and some were defrozen, or maybe all of them were defrozen. The issue is that there was not a lot of transparency in this thing. But the concern with every Gambian is that those assets have been disposed. And what Gambians want to know is that who those assets were sold to. We want to know the assets that were disposed. That is one thing. A complete list of the assets that have been disposed. I think that should have been the easiest thing for the government to do, to list the assets that belong to the former president, who the assets were disposed to, how much they were disposed for. And besides that, I think it should be easy to say that the proceeds that were realized from the sales of the assets, and how those proceeds were utilized, mainly for the benefit of all Gambians. If this was an exam, definitely the government, everybody will agree that the government has failed completely, because they have not even responded. They haven't even tried, to at least, respond to the demands of the citizens way before this time. But like I said, these are interesting times in the Gambia to be in this country. I think there's an adage, there's a saying that there are decades where nothing happens, and there are weeks when decades happen. If we may here in this case, is that it seems like there have been years where nothing happens in terms of government transparency and rooting out corruption. But there's been days where years happen, because more than 5 years ago, people have demanded for the government at least to release, the list of the assets of the former president and the nature of their disposal, who they were disposed to, and the proceeds from the disposal, so that we can make our own objective conclusion. We can do our own analysis. And unfortunately, the government, for far too long, from 2018-19, to date, up to just a while ago, they've refused to respond to demands of the citizens, who are supposedly their masters, and they are, the servants of the people. until for the last few days, less than a month, just within a few days after the publication by the Republic and the demonstration by young and concerned, young and old, but Gambians, that the government relented and agreed that they will dispose, or they started disposing this asset. So yes, there are years when nothing happened in terms of government responses to the request of the people, and we've noticed that there are days when the request over years happened. So this is one step in the right direction. So this is a good thing. But what they have to realize, and when I say they, I mean the government, they have to realize is that these are different times, and they are dealing with different people. First, they must understand that the youths, the young people, the Gambians, but I'll talk about the youths. The youths are aware. That's what I mentioned the last time. It's not about the youths being happy. The youths are aware. They are informed. In fact, they will be surprised to know that the average Gambian is more informed than the leadership, the current leadership in this country. They're more informed, they're more aware, they have the wisdom, they have the know-how, they have the education, they have the exposure. And the people are intelligent. These young people are very intelligent. They're very informed. And you cannot play with their minds. You cannot play any tricks on them. So this is the moment of the Gambians. And, nobody should try to hijack, this thing from them. This is their time. This is their moment. This is their activity. This is their demand. And when I say their demand, we're all a part of it. Initiated, yes. A lot of people have demanded it. The catalysts have been Mr. Dabo and the young people who have moved forward. So we must say bravo to you for doing a very good job. And we must all work together sincerely and honestly, for the good of the country. And the good thing about this movement, this development, this protest that was denied by the government is that it was very peaceful. We haven't had of any damages, of any destruction to property. The people were therefore responsible. And, the government has really calculated very, very badly. They've definitely miscalculated in their response. Assuming that they can arrest a few people and silence the people, we are beyond that point. And the genie is out of the bottle. Let them realize that people are too aware. And what we're asking for is that they must know that there is a wind of change blowing within the region. Not only within the region of Africa, within the world, there is a wind of change. For those who are concerned and observant, there is a wind of change within our region. There is no doubt about that. And let them understand that there is a wind of change in this country as well. And that wind is not going to spare anyone, assuming that you are connected or you are too powerful. It is not going to spare anyone who has wronged the country. It is not going to spare anyone who has betrayed the trust and confidence of the citizens of this country. Let them know that those who have squandered the resources of this country for their individual benefits, and those who are connected to them, trying to fatten themselves, to fatten their bank accounts, where the average Gambian is struggling to make ends meet. Plundering the resources of this country illegally through corrupt practices, having big bank accounts, big houses, driving expensive vehicles, living lifestyles that are beyond, the imagination of the average person. And every intelligent person knows that it's beyond the reach of their remunerations. Let them not assume that they can play with people's intelligence. The time has come. It's definitely time to cleanse the rot of corruption in this country. We know the connections. We know those who are involved. We know their partners. We know the games that they've played. What they must do as citizens of this country, we're all Gambians. And this is a very peaceful country. this has been a stable country for a very long time. And that is what we want to maintain. But we also want to have decency in this country. We want people of integrity, honest people who will work for the common good, for the welfare and the well-being of all Gambians. I think that should be very, very simple. It is about time, as Africans and as Gambians, to wake up and take up ownership of our responsibility, take up ownership of our country, to ensure that our leaders are held to account for what they've done with the resources of the country. We don't want leaders who would assume that, based on the arrangement that we have, yes, they all say they are servants of the people. They are being paid by the taxpayers' money, that is my money and your money, our collective money. Yet we've realized that they are growing richer between them and their partners, while the average Gambian is getting poorer. People are struggling, going through the back way and losing their lives, when what has been manifested in the list that was given to us, you can see the connections, you can read between the lines, and let them know that we can connect the dots. We know where this leads to. The mistake that was made by the authorities to go and arrest some of these protesters, thinking that they can push the inevitable, which is to eventually release the people and let them go about their business. What they did was basically their human rights, their civic right, to request for a permit to demonstrate and express their displeasure with the way and manner in which the assets of the former government or the former president were disposed, that a lot of corruption was involved. I think when people want to do that peacefully, the first thing they should have done was issue them a permit. And even where they denied giving them a permit, they should have easily escorted them. It would have been just a few hours, and the demonstration or protest would have been over. The demand might continue, yes, and the demand will definitely continue. There's no doubt about that. But what happened within the last few days would never have happened. And now the government, they know they are cornered. People know that they are cornered. They are up to their tricks. And what I will advise them sincerely, not as a politician, but sincerely, the only thing that will save them is to come out clean and face the Gambians. Bring in the list, not a redacted one, not what is being bandied around that they will come up with fake list, not list that will try to exonerate certain people who they assume are untouchable, but let them come out with an honest report. I think eventually that is inevitable. Whether they do it today or later in the future, it will eventually come out. So the best thing is to face the people, bring out the correct list of the buyers who has benefited from it, whether through corrupt means. We can judge that for ourselves. I think that will save them a lot. Let them own up. And that is the best thing to do as a human being and as a Muslim. If you have done wrong, if you wronged people, it's better to take ownership, ask for forgiveness, to expiate your wrongs or your sins. It's better. But if you think you can cover one wrong with another wrong, you will be definitely fooling yourself, because you make it very, very difficult for you. And Gambians have been awoken. The youths have been awoken. They've been aware for a very long time. But the level of corruption that has been going on in this country, cannot leave anyone slumbering for a very long time. And what people are demanding is very simple. We know what you've done over the years. The country has been failed. The people have been disappointed. You've lost trust and confidence of a high percentage of the citizens. So the best thing to do is to come out right and try to correct the wrongs that have happened over the past few years. Gambians are very tolerant people. They are very understandable people. But provided that you are willing to stop playing games, to stop squandering the resources of the people, to stop hiding people who have come together to basically waste the future of generations to come. You must take ownership of the wrongs that you've done. You must face reality. Be ready to face whatever consequence might come out of this. I think that is more human. That is proper. And that is right. That is what is good for Gambians. And that is what is good for even you, those who are involved, who have wronged this country. Because what you have amassed in terms of material wealth, it may seem like it's a lot, but it will do you very little. Because if you have all the wealth in the world and you don't have a peace of mind, then your wealth is rather almost meaningless. No matter what position you have, no matter how many properties you have, no matter how fat your bank account is, if you don't have a peace of mind, my friend, then your life is almost miserable. And if your reputation is tarnished, if people are looking at you, saying that all the money that you have is all ill-gotten, my friend, there is nothing to be proud about that, especially as someone of faith. So the best thing is to come out clean. Gambians are not your enemies. This thing can be solved easily. It's up to you. It's up to the government. It's up to the leadership. It's up to those who are connected. For far too long, Africans and black people, we've been used by others who assume that we are less intelligent than they are. We are less deserving of a good life than they are. But what is more painful is when our own people, our own brothers, and sometimes sisters, who have all commonalities with us, we're all Gambians, we're of the same religion, of the same tribes, we look alike, our cultures are all the same, to be betrayed by those people for their individual interest, for their desire for this worldly wealth. Nothing is worth it. To betray your fellow citizens, to betray your fellow countrymen, and to do daylight robbery of what belongs to all of you. And then when they ask to know how you spent what belongs to all of you, you try to play games using the security or the legal sector to intimidate them and to silence them. It is very unfortunate, and it's not a very good sign for someone who really cares. It's not a very good sign for someone who is observant. Again, this is an appeal to the government to do what is right. If they do right, they will feel good. If they fail to do right, if they want to continue playing games with Gambians, my friend, nature will judge between them and Gambians. And nature is a fair judge. Nature cannot be corrupted. And eventually karma will catch up with anyone who is involved in the betrayal of public trust. So for my fellow Gambians, what has been released so far is highly questionable. There are so many holes. There are so many, missing links. Because we know that the list is not comprehensive. It doesn't include all the properties, all the assets of the former president. We know that the amounts that have been mentioned are far too low. We know that the buyers are also sometimes questionable. This is just the tip of the iceberg. The list that has been given to Gambians, or that has been, published, is very, very small. So the government must definitely come out clean. We know the list is too small. We know that they are trying to cover some untouchables. Yes, they will play their gimmicks. Yes, they will try to put some people at third parties as front men. Yes, but the truth will eventually come out. We will do our analysis. Or in fact, a lot of us have done some analysis. And more people, more intelligent people, more informed people will do their analysis. And I'm sure we'll share our observations. But Gambians should know that out of assets worth more than 300 million, 20-something million dollars, to tell people that you've only recovered about $23 million is the joke of the century. It's like playing with people's intellect, assuming that they know nothing. It's a very, very big betrayal. This is one problem that we're facing. But what we should all do is to extrapolate what we understood as the assets of the former president, their value, and the amount that they've recovered. Now apply the same thing to the budget, to the resources of the whole country over the years, and understand that the same game has been played over us for so many years now. The resources of this country has been misappropriated for a very long time. The expenditures, we've always mentioned this. There was a misplaced priority of expenditures by the government. Most of it was always recurrent expenditure. That's why we've always cried out loud that the poverty in this country was man-made. And those who benefited from it are the select few who are untouchable. But the day of reckoning will eventually catch up with anyone who has wronged this country. So before we get to that day of reckoning, I plead to the government to honestly, at least to start from now, honestly disclose the real list of the assets of the former president. A comprehensive, and I mean a total list of all the assets of the former president. Who they were disposed to, who benefited from it, who paid what, where those proceeds were used. And if I'm a beneficiary from it, myself, or no matter my connections or anyone, no one should appear untouchable. No one should be protected in this situation. Then we can sit down and reconcile. Then we can sit down and say who should be pardoned. Then we can come up with a solution that is acceptable, that is fair to the country and to the citizens. And at least you will own up that you've wronged the country, you failed the nation in your delivery, in the trust and the expectations of the citizens. And then we can move up with other things. We are not trying to point castigating fingers at anyone. That will be the wrong thing to do. But the right thing to do is generally to say what we know has happened, that Gambians were aware of what has happened over the years, and the people have been crying out loud, complaining and begging, literally, for the government to do something about the corruption in this country. But they always say that we are anti-government, we are oppositions, we don't like, these people, or we are envious of the wealth that some of these people made. And that's not the case. All this wealth will go nowhere. You'll take it nowhere with you. It will all be left behind. In fact, a lot of people are feeling sorry for those who are involved in corruption, especially at the public level. We feel sorry for them, because we know the consequence of their deeds, whether it's here or the hereafter. And we don't wish any one of them any harm. We just want them to come up, own up, take their responsibility, and we'll move forward. But there will be a reset in this country. By God, by Allah, inshallah, there will be a reset in this country. No few people will hijack this nation for their individual interest. The youths are informed, Gambians are aware. We want a better living for all Gambians. For all Gambians. We don't want any so-called elites, so-called people who are connected, to be working only for the benefit of a few people. We don't want our economy to be hijacked by a few people. So we don't want our government to be hijacked by a few people. These are not times to play smartness, to pretend that one is holier than thou. We're all human beings. We're all Gambians. And the majority of people just want what is best for everyone to get their fair share. And life goes on. We want this country to be as good a country as any developed nation in the world. We want this country to be a respectable country in the world. We want our citizens to live a dignified life. What is so difficult in that? I cannot, for the life of me, understand how people who are selected into public office give all the benefits that come with that public office by being paid with very good salaries. They're able to have luxurious lifestyles. They have very good vehicles and fat salaries. Yet, they cannot avoid taking from the public office that which doesn't belong to them, depriving their fellow citizens and future generations to come to a comfortable and a decent life. It is very unfortunate that a few people living today will rob a nation and its people for their future. It should be very un-Gambian. It's against our culture and our religion. Therefore, we must not only try to do what is right for this country, but we have to find a way to salvage this nation, but also save those in leadership who have done so much wrong and so much harm to this country and her citizens. And it is about time that they know that we are serious. We are not into gimmicks and playing games and accepting excuses that don't add up and don't make any sense. It's better to come out clean, face the people, and we all move on towards the development of this country. We don't want distractions that will take a lot of our time, a lot of our energy, and things that we will keep on repeating like a ping-pong game between the citizens' demand and the government's responses. So it's up to the government now to come out clean and tell the people the truth. and nothing but the whole truth. May Allah save the country. May Allah guide the Gambia and Gambians. May peace, tranquility, stability prevail in this country. May our desires, our good desires for the development